Hello everyone, it is the Bookatarian here for another book tag. Today I thought I would do the Stay-at-Home book tag by Paperback Princess. I will link her channel down below if you want to go and check out the original tag. Since we're all in quarantine, or mostly I suppose in quarantine, and COVID-19 is still rampaging away, I figured this would be the perfect tag to do. Prompt number 1, lying in bed. Which book could you read in one sitting? Now for this, I'm going to choose an entire series that I've read in one sitting, like each book one day, basically. And that is the Every Heart a Doorway series, or no, I think it's called the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. This is In an Absent Dream. I think it's number 4 in the series. It's not my favorite. But this is the only one that I own physically. My personal favorite and preferred choice answer for this prompt would be Down Among the Sticks and Bones, which follows twins Jack and Jill, who enter a doorway that leads them to this land called the Moors, which is a very high logic world. It's very dark and morally gray as a whole. It has very Frankenstein views, which is because it's a retelling of Frankenstein. Number 2 is Snacking All Day. Which book is a guilty read that you could just read over and over again? Now, for this, I feel like some people should be able to guess what's coming. It is anything fairy tale related. This anime and manga are not the greatest, well-written or well-thought-out plots or characters, anything like that. It is not the best. I know there are better animes and mangas that I could be investing my time in, but I really love Fairy Tail, as it was the first anime that I had ever fallen in love with. So it's just a really big nostalgia factor for me. This follows a guild called the Fairy Tail Guild, as they basically make their way through the series from the beginning of the book, in which the newest member, Lucy Heartfilia, joins its ranks. And it's by Hiro Mashima. So, prompt number 3 is Netflix, a series that I want to start. Now, for this one, that's upside down and backwards. My Lady Jane by the Lady Janies, more specifically Cynthia Hand, Rhodey Ashton, and Jodi Meadows, kind of retelling, reimagining of the Lady Jane Grey story that takes place around her brief 9 days, I think, as queen. I have started this and put it down because it wasn't what I was feeling like reading at the time, but I really, really love the other reimagining kind of twisted historical series that I have started, which is the Dread Nation trilogy, which is zombie civil war, basically. And so I know I'm probably going to enjoy this just as much. Prompt number 4 is Deep Clean. What book has been on your TBR for ages? Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This book has been on my radar since before it was published in 2017. As soon as I heard about it, as soon as I heard Marissa Meyer was putting out another book, I was just immediately, yeah, I want to read that. It's been 3 years. Why haven't I read it yet? I don't know. But it is basically, I think, a sci-fi that is in this different world that follows this group called the Renegades that are basically superhuman heroes that have kind of risen up in the society that has since crumbled over years of destruction and dysfunctionality in the government. And one of the main characters has a grudge against the Renegades, and the other one is a prominent member of the Renegades. And the story starts off when they meet and have to figure out what to do from there. Okay, so prompt number 5 is Animal Crossing New Horizon. Pick a book that you bought for the hype. Now, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is definitely the most hyped book I could have ever bought for hype, ever. First of all, it's adult. I don't read adult much yet. I don't read it much yet. I have been reading it more, but if it wasn't so unbelievably popular, I would not have even thought of even picking it up, let alone buying it. But I know it's about an actor who is somewhat distantly connected to this not very well-known reporter, and the actor has kind of moved on from her time of fame. She's retired, and she wants someone to tell her story. So she contacts this reporter who is not very well known and asks her to write her biography. Question number 6 is productivity. Which book had a big impact on you, or you have learned from it, learned something from the book as a whole? Now, A Quiet Kind of Thunder is by Sarah Barnard, is basically one of my favorite books of all time, and it is so little known. Like, it does not get hardly any hype at all. It's about Reese, who finds himself in a new school, and he's deaf, and I think, what is her name? What is the main character's name? Steffi. So it's about Steffi and Reese. Steffi is a select mute, and Reese is deaf, and they meet at high school one day after Reese recently starts school at her school, and they bond together in a quick friendship. And this has a trigger warning for, I think, panic attacks and severe anxiety. So just be mindful of that before going into it. And this basically just is them developing their friendships and further affirming their identities, what it's like to be mute and deaf, and their respective high school, and how they get around managing to live a life as a normal person would, even though they have some setbacks. They are not disabled. They are not disabled. Anyways, this was impactful on me because of the representation with both mute and deaf representation. I thought it was done very well. Yeah. Prompt number 7 is FaceTime. And which book was gifted to you? Now, this book, Still Alice, by Lisa Genova, was gifted to me by my grandma, kind of, basically. Pretty much. She was cleaning out some stuff that she didn't want, and she knows I like to read, so she gave me this book because I saw it and knew what it was about instantly. So she was like, "Here, you read it." I'm like, "Okay, that sounds fine." And I watched this movie that the book was based on for a class I had to watch it for. And it's about this middle-aged lady who comes into kind of a midlife crisis when she is diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's, I think. She's like really young. She's only 45 or something when she gets diagnosed. And so it's basically just her dealing with that new diagnosis and how her family adapts to it, and how she just kind of slowly deteriorates over the years. All right. And then the last prompt is self-care, which is name something you've done over this lockdown, quarantine, whatever, that you've done to kind of improve your care for yourself, basically. And since I've moved, I've gotten back into doing Zumba classes, and not necessarily in the group FaceTime Zoom call kind of way. Usually I just YouTube it. I'll look up different Zumba workout videos and do those. And if you don't know what Zumba is, it's basically just dance workout, pretty much. So thank you all so much for watching. I don't know anyone who would answer this tag on YouTube yet, so I won't tag anyone. But if you watch this video and you feel like you really want to answer these questions as well, feel free to call yourself tagged by me. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video soon. Bye.